guys, and welcome to Two Beards Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nick.
I'm your other host, Levi. We didn't do that last time.
Didn't do it last time, so I got him. And so as per usual, we're going to be drinking some beers here. We'll be talking about them amongst other random shit, as we normally do.
Do you see a theme going on?
I don't. They're supposed to be.
Do you know the date?
The date today
I don't know what date it will be.
is the 30th.
30th of June.
30th of June. And everybody knows that is the best time to break out your America. Okay? Fuck the 4th. It's overrated. It's on a weekend this year, so don't even bother with that. Might as well disrupt your week and do it right at the beginning.
Sure. One of the best days in the entire universe, time, existence, 4th of July, when America celebrates its independence.
Really, it's when time started.
Fuck you, Britain.
And your tea.
That too. So, yeah, we're joined by Stone's Enjoy By 7/4/2020. It's a series that we've had before on the episodes.
Multiple times.
Prior to this.
Mm.
The purpose of the beer is that they brew it with a selected amount of time. July 4th is the cutoff, quote unquote, day of freshness.
Yeah, that's their thing. That's their thing always, where it's beer is better drink fresh. And so, they have the crazy idea of hey, what if we get beer to everyone in the country within 2 weeks of canning it up, 2 weeks of it being made, more or less.
Yeah.
And they do it, and it's nuts. And they, for the most part, produce a pretty damn good product. You and I both have had this one in years past, and we both have had it already this year. Amongst the 420, I think the 420 was the first Enjoy By we've had this year.
Yes.
We didn't have the New Year's one or anything like that.
I think we looked for it and we weren't able to get our hands on it.
Right.
If I remember correctly. Look for Nick opening his cans very strangely.
It's just it's the easiest way without getting your fingers wet. Do you get your fingers wet every time?
No, of course not. I'm not
would.
a fucking monster.
I would.
Where are my fingers getting wet?
In the hole where you're pulling them towards. That's why I push it away. Look.
This is the same distance as your thumb.
You do this and you go, and it's just getting wet everywhere. If you do this, it's just...
You only need to pull it halfway. You don't need to push it all the way down.
Every time I do this, something gets wet and I don't want it.
So
I use my thumb and I just push.
Your thumb is literally going the same area as your fingers.
I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'll have to do it. My next one, I'll do it correctly and I'll show you. It just feels wrong. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, you're doing it wrong.
Oh, I know that.
Maybe it's tell us what you guys do, because
I know I'm wrong.
Okay.
Everyone's going to say, yeah, he's a fucking weirdo. There's just nothing.
I'm just saying, I wonder if it's one of those things where do you wipe sitting up or sitting down or standing up, and people are oh, you do it that way, and their minds are blown.
Absolutely. So,
how do you open a can?
No, are you a sitter or a stander?
Me?
Yeah.
Both.
Interesting.
I'll do whatever's convenient.
It just depends on the environment you're in.
As a guy, and I think you probably share this experience as me, since we're both hairy dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta approach it from different angles.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
So I just attack it at different levels.
Yeah.
I don't go different angles per se, but I attack it at different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
yeah, you can't just do a couple and you're done and out of there.
Yeah.
That's just not how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a curse than a blessing. And I need to adjust this because
we switched up our mics today, so it's kind of weird.
Yes, it is.
We're also drinking some Basil Hayden bourbon.
Yes.
We were thinking America bourbon. Got the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, and Articles of Confederation right here. Got some cornhole. I don't know if that's American, but
I would say it is.
then I got my cornhole boards. Liberty or death. That's a quote from reduction of a quote from someone.
Someone said it, probably.
I can't remember.
At some point.
I was supposed to look it up, and then I was going to be like, this is who said it, and this is what they said. And then I
didn't. Yeah.
didn't have time.
Wouldn't expect you to ever.
I mean, I could do it now, but it's the moment's past.
Absolutely. It doesn't even matter anymore. Like, I almost don't even want to know at this point.
And then we got our Trump-Pence glasses, because,
It's less of a statement as much as
and
it
more-
is you were pranked.
well, that did happen, and also, good or bad, it's our president, so, it just...
It's America.
Listen,
People go, oh, he's not my president. And it's like,
I mean, he is.
he actually is, though. I'm sorry to say.
I just think it's one of those things to me where, you bring up Independence Day and people are like, oh, look at all the shitty things that America was back then. And it's like, okay, that's true. And there's like shit going on today. And like, trust me, I don't think we live in anywhere near a perfect nation.
Right.
But there's a lot of great things about America.
And that's what the 4th's for, right?
Yes.
To celebrate the great things.
That's what it is. It's about our independence, our liberty, our individualism.
Yeah.
Those are all important things. So
Totally. Absolutely. So, I mean, think what you want about whoever or whatever you want. You said it good. The 4th is time to celebrate the greatness that we have here. So I think both of us, not to really jump too political in this episode, not that we're making a statement or anything here, but I don't think either of us love Trump, but I do think it's hard to argue that he hasn't done good things while in presidency.
also doing not so great things.
Totally.
Like any other president,
Like I
right?
said, like I said, he's.
I'm
not the biggest fan of him, but
to your point, you're like, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of him either. At the same time, I'm not really the biggest fan of any politician.
Right, exactly. If someone is in office, I'm unhappy.
Yeah.
So that's just where I stand there.
Nobody, 2020. It's great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, we're focusing on good vibes here. I said, there's enough shit going on. Let's celebrate the good things. So.
Cheers to your independence if you are from America. If you're not, do I say I'm sorry? Do I say fuck you?
A little bit of both.
Yeah. I'm sure your country is
sorry.
Pretty good. Sure, it's good.
Maybe.
But
if not, you come here. I don't know.
Not really, because the whole lockdowns probably don't
limit
your travel.
Totally.
All that good stuff.
Masks.
But at some point.
But come on over.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
We'll hang out.
We have a day out of the year where we just party and get drunk.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat, right?
Throw some bags around.
Yeah. For no reason other than for fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
I am planning, speaking of which, of just spending the 4th playing lawn games.
Okay, good. I will be
That's
there. Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely. Well, it's not it.
Yeah.
You're going to have a drink in your hand.
Yeah, but that's part of playing lawn games.
Fair enough. It's almost like you're not playing long games if you don't have a drink in your hand.
Exactly.
That's fair.
So it's just going to be lawn games. That's it.
I mean, your yard is far too small for it. I guess we could try to make it work, but I have always wanted and do thoroughly enjoy playing Crotchet.
Yeah.
That's a good game. I like that one.
Do not own it.
Yeah, me neither.
But allegedly we're going over to my parents, which I'm sure you're invited.
Or good, because otherwise I would just be in your front lawn by myself.
Yeah, that's true.
And that would be a little awkward.
Which we will have a larger yard. And we'll
I
be able to play Cube.
What is that?
It's
I think you told me about this.
Yeah, it's like a throwing lawn game. Oh, and we got throwing axes and knives, so that's cool.
That's right. Your dad was asking about it, and you were like, well... Oh, he thought it was yours. He's like, do you want your Cube back? And you're like,
oh, yes.
What are you talking about? That's what it was.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was like, oh, you got it. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, awesome. This is, I've heard this good game. I've wanted to play it. And he's like, no, it's yours. And I'm like, are you giving it to me? He's like, no, you got it at some point. And I'm like,
I assure you I didn't.
I don't think I did, but I believe that I did and don't remember it.
That's possible, I guess.
So, and bocce ball, but
Bocce ball's great.
not an American game either. But here we are.
That makes more sense though.
But
Bags has to be right. Bags
It's
has
gotta
to be like Midwest.
it's got to be
Yeah, like
cornhole.
corn. Yeah, come on.
We're
Corn-
like the
corn-
inventors of corn.
Was corn? Was corn even a thing before?
No.
It really wasn't.
No,
That's cool. Because it's delicious.
I think we did. I mean, it's not. It's.
I don't
pretty
even
good.
care. It's fucking America Day. We invented corn, bitches.
When was the last time you had like corn on the cob?
Ooh, on the cob.
It's a lot of work, but it's the best. Like if you're gonna eat corn,
Well, and so what you, and I'm sure you know this, but what you do is you get some tinfoil and you pack that baby with some fucking butter. Pack it. Wrap it all up.
and
just-
whatever else you're feeling. Right?
Totally.
If you want to throw some spices in there,
Totally.
But
But then you just toss that on the grill with your burgers, and
Yep.
that's what you do.
Yeah.
Done.
delicious.
Oh man, it's been a long time. I mean, Illinois was the last time I had corn on the cob, and even then, I think I left too early in the summer to even really enjoy grilled corn on the cob. So it's probably been a couple years.
So good.
Yeah, man, I love
So
it.
good.
Ooh, now I'm getting real hungry.
Well, and I'm thinking about so last year we had steaks in my front yard, steaks and scallops.
Yeah.
And recently we finished our floors and celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
You and I made some steaks
Yep.
of the same cut, but it's a French bone, so it was a cowboy steak instead of I don't know. Whatever has the long bone on the ribeye versus the short bone. Who cares? Bone and ribeyes. They were like 3.5 inches thick.
Big. Sorry, no. I have to take a rain check.
But similar cuts. And last year, you were like, best steak you ever had.
Yeah.
This year, after doing my floors, I was like, they were cooked perfectly. So it was just, yeah.
Best steak I've ever had.
Yeah.
And then this past weekend,
And then
Best steak ever
I
had.
made another ribeye that was like, I made more giant ribeyes. These ones I cut up myself, so they weren't bone in. It was boneless ribeye, but yeah.
I will say when we did make the Cowboys, I am, coming from someone who would eat their steak medium,
Mm-hmm.
and as you introduced me to, rare steak, which has now become my favorite.
I mean, I've introduced you to like just slicing off a piece before I even start cooking.
Exactly. You introduced me to raw steak, and that I'm like, that's pretty good. But as far as cooking goes, I will say I did prefer the second one over the first, just as the first one still like. It's pure texture, not
Yep.
flavor. Like flavor wise, I probably
Especially that big.
that's the thing.
I'm with you. So ribeyes, if you don't know, have a lot of connective tissue. So like a lot of the fat you can't really eat. Like it doesn't break down.
Mhm.
Because it's not fat, it's connective tissue, but it's next to the fat. Yeah,
Yeah.
connective tissue. Can't eat it. Silver skin. Ribeyes have a lot of it.
Mm.
So some of it, like silver skin properly, doesn't break down.
Mm-hmm.
So you just trim all of it off.
Right.
But there's always like some remaining.
You're going back and forth between steak and fish here, right?
Okay. Not silverfish. Silver skin.
Hear me out. When you have like salmon fillets,
No,
you
no.
have that like. Is that what you're talking about? Or
No,
Okay.
no.
See,
I'm
I don't know
talking-
what you're talking about then. So if you want to break that down a little more.
When you break down a steak,
Okay.
on some cuts,
Yeah.
you'll have like a blue, like thin, like layer.
So similar to that salmon thing I'm talking about,
Similar,
but it's just different.
but it doesn't break down. It's just connective tissue that doesn't break down.
Got
so
you.
you just trim it off. It's not useful. Like
Mhm.
you can't eat it.
Yeah.
Anything like that. So ribeyes have like a lot of that in connective tissue with the fat, and so some of it, like the fattier pieces, you can break down from temperature. So that's what I'm getting to. Especially when you have a thick cut,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you don't want the pieces being all floppy. Part of that is the hardening of the meat.
Yeah.
The longer you cook it, that's part of the medium rare process that you're talking about, as well as you want some of that fat to break down and the connective tissue to break down more easily. So I'm with you. Ribeyes generally, I want to get to medium rare versus rare. Like my aged New Yorks, you could eat them blue rare and they melt in your mouth completely.
Yeah.
Because there's no silver skin. A lot of the edge fats I cut off because they're like bad from the aging process. So it's like there's like almost no connective tissue. It's aged. It just all breaks down, melts in your mouth.
Yep.
No worries eating that fucking rare as can be.
Right. Absolutely.
You can just sear both sides and
Done.
it's fucking delicious.
Done. Yeah, absolutely.
Those thick ribeyes, medium rare is the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. But, that being said, it still was like absolutely amazing. And,
The ones this past weekend,
yeah,
they were all perfect medium rare.
Could not be better.
Yeah.
If you feel like it, I can send you pictures of that and you can show that right here. Because they're just fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And fuck, man, I said it that day. I was like, I don't know. I think Phil asked me, he was like, what's the best steak you've had from Levi? And I'm like, I don't know, because I feel like every time I'm like, this is the best steak.
You're like, the one I'm eating, the one that's in my mouth is the best steak.
The best steak. Yeah, the one I'm eating right now. That's the best. I just steak is fucking delicious, and you're damn good at making it. So,
I mean, it's like it's been an evolution, right? Like you consider
totally.
even less than a year ago on the 4th, like the steaks were good.
See,
they weren't bad, but like I think the steaks that we had last weekend would have blown the 4th out of the water.
I think when you have them side by side, that makes more sense.
Well, and I critique myself more than
exactly. And on top of that, like up to that point, you've already made a bunch of steaks.
Yes.
So this is me more or less going in with fresh eyes, where I'm like, this is the best steak I've ever had.
Yeah.
So, I think that plays a lot into it, really. But I mean, yeah. But this past weekend, fuck, man, they could not have been cooked better, seared better. Like everything was just.
I mean, we probably had 8 or 9 pounds of steak to eat. And I mean, let's see, it might be more than that. We'll just say 8 or 9 pounds.
There's probably like a pound left.
Yeah. No, there's like 4 pounds left. But we started with like 16 pounds. So.
Okay.
So 8 or 9 pounds. Between 6 of us, and we just killed it. There was nothing left from the steak that I cooked.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering.
Oh yeah, nothing left.
All that was gone.
I have 2 more steaks.
Jesus.
They're smaller, but there's nothing left of the cooked steak.
That's gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got demolished. I mean, it just.
We were all like standing in my kitchen eating it, and then at some point, like we started like going back to playing board games and stuff, and like we just put it in a little tiny Tupperware jar, and like that fit the rest of it.
Yeah, periodically, like just people would like pick at it, and
then it was gone.
Didn't even matter that it started getting cold. It was just still so delicious. So good. So since last week, another cool thing popped up, and that is the introduction or the reveal of the new iOS to come out this fall.
I have not seen that.
Okay.
At all?
Well, I'm going to give you some spoilers here.
Are you excited?
Pro?
Against? Medium? Give a thumb.
I'm like a
okay.
Mostly here.
You got a semi.
Yeah, I got a semi hard on going on for it. Definitely more positive than negative, that's for sure.
Okay.
So obviously you'll want to check out, the whole keynote for yourself if you don't do that. All right. Well, I do that.
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to, and then I don't buy the new phones anymore.
Right.
Because I don't really give a shit. Like most of the time, it's all about like the cameras, and I don't care because I have cameras. So I'm like,
no, that's fair. But at least for the summer keynote, that's all about the software.
That's true. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So they talked all about OS, and so for iOS, the huge thing, which they are finally, I don't know, 10, 15 years behind on, is now, like Android, you can have widgets on your home screen. And I'm back and forth because I don't want it to look like an Android. That's why I have an iPhone.
Yeah,
I would just get an Android if I wanted to look a certain
So
way.
here's what I'll say. Good on them for offering it. I don't think I'll use it.
I will use it limitedly. I think I will use a weather one. And here's the thing too, which is nice. You can have different sizes. So they have a one that takes up one of the...
I like the fact that I scroll right
and
or like go to the left
shit.
and I see the weather and my battery. I thought the battery was a genius addition, especially with all the wireless accessories that we have.
That's been amazing with everything Bluetooth.
Yes.
It's been so good.
That's amazing. I don't want... there's never been a time... Like, maybe this will prove me wrong, but up till now, I'm never like, oh, I'd love to see this on that.
I think, yeah, so, they had battery, like, just they were scrolling through different things, they had battery. I'm like, I don't fucking need my battery as a widget. That's stupid as fuck. Like, first off, it's in the corner. Second off, if I need the numbers... You look
at an Android's person, and they have, like, this fucking giant battery that takes up, like, a third of their screen. I'm like,
what?
You just look up.
It's right there. It's right there.
Like, do you need... I don't get it.
No.
Okay, continue.
One thing I think I'll use it for is the weather. So with all the widgets, they could either take up 4 app spaces or 8 app spaces. In other words, like a corner or a whole bar. I don't think they have ones larger than that, which why the hell would you need one larger than that? At that point, it's just not even a widget. Like you just have an app open. So they have that, and then they also added this one thing that I'm back and forth on. I don't like that it's forced on me. It's like suggested. They call it the what do they call it? I had it pulled up here. It's like all your suggested apps and shit.
I use that all the time.
They call it the app library. So this is like Android.
So is that like the menu compared to... So what I do a lot, I don't know if you have the same action, but I swipe down and I have my Siri suggestions.
Yes.
And it's my top 4 apps, and I can click show more. I never do because I know what my top 4 suggestions always are.
Absolutely. Mine's the same right there. So I also have that. Siri suggestions, and then they also have more than that. Like
shortcut
couple actions
things,
here to do. Yeah.
I like the Siri suggestions, but it's like equip... Like because I always know, like I have podcasts and I have Amazon on my Siri suggestions 100% of the time. And it's just an action that I'm familiar with and I know where they are. Outside of those 2 apps, it changes on Siri suggestions, so I would never use like an app library. I'm like, if I need an app and I don't want to find it, I'll just use the fucking search bar.
No, I know. That's exactly how I feel too. And so, that's the thing with Android. I feel like Android, it's like most people have like a couple apps on their homepage, and then you have to click an app button to look at all of the apps.
Yeah, you go through a menu that has hundreds of apps.
I'm like, that's just so stupid. Yeah. Why would I want that? Like, it just doesn't make any sense at all. And so, I'm trying to find a picture here of what their app library looks like, because it basically just looks like folders.
I mean, I have a lot of apps on my phone that I need to cull because I use like 4 apps.
So here's one they got. They got in the app library at the top, they have suggestions. So I think they're probably going to get rid of that swipe down for Siri suggestions.
Fuck you.
Because they're going to have it here. They have suggestions, and then they have recently added, but it's like in a folder. And so that's what they do. They'll have the recently added, like the 3 new ones, and then after that they have like a few in the small ones. Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. I'm like, it just looks stupid.
When was the last time you played a game on your phone? Because you game on your phone more, or at least you used to. Not having an Xbox or anything. Like, but when was the last time you like played a game?
Like any game, or like seriously?
Any game. Like, do you
it's been like a week?
Okay. Because I remember, like, in high school, I would play games on my phone.
Yeah.
college, probably.
Yeah, often actually.
Clash of Clans was the thing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that game.
I don't know the last time I played a game on my phone. There's like very occasionally, like I'll go to like an airport or something random where I don't have service, and I'll be like, man, I'm fucking bored as shit, and I don't have my laptop. I would love to, play a rando game on my phone.
Yeah.
The problem also is that like a lot of games require Wi-Fi now, and like
yes,
like I 99% of the time when I want to play a game on my phone, it's because I don't have service or Wi-Fi.
Exactly. No, 100%.
I want to play like Snake. Or like, some kind of like Bejeweled block breaker, like some bullshit game that's just like, okay, pass the time.
Right.
Now it's all like Clash of Clans, like, here, pay me money so you can get this dinosaur egg thing. I don't know.
Yeah, everything is freemium these days.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think probably a lot of that mind shift there has to do with where you're at in life and what's accessible to you because of where you're at. Like, you think like, you're a homeowner now, you work a full-time job. And so it's like,
I don't have time for anything.
You don't have time to just play games, A. And then when you are home, it's like you're an adult and you can just purchase a laptop or you could just purchase a new game for a console that you have. Like, you just aren't going to be playing these like small little bitch games on your phone,
It's true.
So you're just going to go out and buy something that you actually want to play that's going to be worth your time.
I mean, there are games that I bought for $60. I was thinking about this actually this week. I bought the like season pass, like premium thing for like Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
Played through Borderlands, and they've released new content since, and I just haven't played it again, even though I paid for all that content. Like, I could download it for free. But like, I played through Borderlands, and I was like, I don't really love it anymore. It's cool while it lasted, and then I was just like, nah, I'm done. And because of where I'm at in life, I was like able to afford that, and I don't consider it money lost. I was like, at the time, playing through it and beating it and all that stuff, I loved it. And then just the culture of the game, I was like, meh.
When you've spent enough time on it to make it worth the money, right? Like, at least in your mind, like that, like because everyone attributes.
There are games I've bought where I just stopped playing because I was like I bought it for $60 and I stopped playing it because I was like, this is shit.
And that sucks, right? Because then you're like, this was not worth my money.
Yeah, Borderlands wasn't that for me, but like, it just goes to show, like, I could buy the season pass thing for it, and I was like, man, it's not a really big deal.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And you enjoyed it too. I think that's a big part, where it's like, you could play a game for months, but if you like at the end of it, you're like, I didn't really like that. You would be like, even though I had like a month's worth of gameplay on it, not worth the money because you didn't really enjoy it.
Skyrim, on the other hand,
you're still coming out on top with that one. I mean, I God knows how many hours you put in. Do you know how many hours you put in on that game?
I don't want to know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Skyrim, right? Like, I started in, Skyrim is part of Elder Scrolls, which is a long-standing series from like PC, like RPG, and I picked it up on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Xbox One. On Xbox, the original, the OG Xbox, Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind. Fantastic game. It's funny because it has like similar mechanics to Skyrim and Oblivion, but like when you go back, like, so when you remember it, that's how you perceive of it. But when you go back and play it, you are attacking people with swords. It's like this.
Yeah.
And because there's no like hitbox mechanics around like sword play in like that time, whether you hit someone or not was based on chance depending on the weapon and the skill. So you would be
RNG?
swinging at people. Yeah, and like you may or may not hit them, even though like on your screen you're hitting them.
Maddening.
It's like going back. It's like, how the fuck did I play this
and not go insane?
At the time, it was like revolutionary, right?
Totally.
Like, you have this open world RPG where you get to level up like magic and fight. Like the options are endless.
Yeah, no, and we talked. I mean, so not to that degree, because that's a very interesting concept. But like we've talked about this when you first got the N64 again, where it's like we have these memories of these games playing, and where at the time you're like, it's never gonna get better than this.
Yeah.
You know, fucking what is the Zelda game, the Ocarina of Time. It's like, man, graphics are not getting better than this. We have reached the pinnacle of game development. And here we are with fucking VR, like almost perfectly realism. Like it's.
I think we've talked about it before. That game, because I picked it back up and I stopped playing it. I want to play. I want to like. That might be a good game to stream, like start to finish. I don't even know if that's possible.
No, we could do it. We should.
Maybe we should do it, but like have a guide, because this is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I remember it being so difficult that it was confusing to me as a kid, like what I do next.
Mm-hmm.
I ran into the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I'm like, I'm 27.
It's a hard fucking game.
And I was like, I got to a point and I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And so I did finally figure it out.
But it's something dumb. It's always something dumb, right?
It
Where you're
is.
like, oh, I walked by this one person that I had to talk to then carry on the story. And you missed that one person and you're like, I don't fucking know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it was something stupid like that. And I was just like,
I had to pick up the flower by the shed. You missed that?
And there was no direction, right? Like Skyrim and stuff, like there's always like a waypoint and like telling you where to go, kind of leading you in the right direction. Some quests are a little like ambiguous, but like generally.
Well, Call of Duty too, so I think of like Call of Duty is easy as shit, like knowing what to do next. But even it being that easy, you hit the start menu and it still has your current mission, what you have to do right now.
Yes.
So it's like it's
like literally do this action.
Yeah.
Zelda, it's like, good luck.
Good.
Figure it out.
Yeah, it's hard shit, man. We should do that, honestly.
We haven't streamed in a long time. Yeah. I would hope.
Yeah. It has been.
And we got so new thing other than iOS, Minecraft.
Yeah,
new update.
So we've been playing Dungeons, and then now they have like a new update in Minecraft.
Actual Minecraft, yeah.
And that's out now, right? That was out this past weekend?
It's out, yeah.
Crazy.
Tuesday.
That. Oh, Tuesday was, okay.
Yeah. So.
This weekend? Or
probably.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's got to happen.
Totally. Oh, yeah, we already talked about that, how we're going to kind of figure things out probably on Friday a little bit.
If you play Minecraft, if you don't play Minecraft, it sounds really weird to be like, figure things out.
You're like, you just go in there and you build shit, right?
Yeah, you mine blocks. How's that even fun?
When the game first came out, you could do that.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
Yeah.
But now that it's just developed so much.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Like like your spawn matters now because the game has developed so much.
Depending on like what like if you want to make it a game that has longevity, like through your own creativity, and that's kind of why I play it. I think it's probably why you play it. Like why we're interested is because it's less about like mining blocks or completing objectives. It's like, okay, I want to take the blocks that I can gather and create something really cool, or like a theme that I want to enjoy. Like one of the things I thought of, like a good idea, like for you and I to build would be like, we could do like a Jurassic Park area, like build dinosaurs. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, buddy. Hell yeah.
But things like that, where it's like you gather resources for projects and then you build them up over like weeks and months.
Could we bring in creatures from the Nether and like back into the real world and then encage them?
Yeah. It would be cool to have like
That'd be cool.
villagers as tourists, like in the park.
Yes.
Right? Like
yeah.
create it like the theme park of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the Jurassic World, whatever.
Yeah,
where it's literally a theme park.
Exactly. And you have like villagers walking around.
That'd be
cool.
fucking dope.
Or like running like stands, like food stands.
Yes. I don't even know how. There's a lot of sea creatures too now that we could probably gather and
Well, there's fish and dolphins. Oh, and turtles.
turtles.
That's a lot.
Turtles are cool. I feel like there's more than that though. Is there more?
Mm-mm.
No?
Guardians, I guess.
What the hell's that?
Those are like the guys that like have an eyeball that it's a whole thing.
What?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're even talking about. Oh, you'll have to show me. It's weird. So I don't love this beer, but it kind of gets you to a point where you're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just a hefty boy, I guess is all I'm getting at. I haven't eaten anything, and it's a hefty boy. So it's like the more I drink it, the less I care. But I don't love this one.
Yeah, well, let's get into rating the beer. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
See, look at that. That's as far as I opened it. Nowhere close to my finger getting wet.
Dude, just, okay, I'm gonna slip. I don't have traction when I go this way. It's like, it's gonna get my hand. When I open it, it's gonna get my hand right here.
Turn.
I cannot.
I don't see what you're on about.
So if I'm trying to open it, it's
Okay.
gonna get on my hand here.
No.
No, it's
No.
going. It does every time.
No.
I see drops. There's drops. You gotta look at it in the light.
There's nothing.
There are drops.
There's nothing.
And I felt air. Okay. I don't like it. Well, what happens is when you get shit at the gas station, when you get some tall boys, and then you drive up to a mountain and you go to open them, they're gonna a little bit on you.
Sure.
So if I use my thumb, I don't have that happen.
I feel like I'm not worried at that point. Like I'm opening those beers haphazardly.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
I don't know, man.
I am with you. Don't act like you don't have a contrary opinion here.
No, I know.
You're in good company.
I like because we run a podcast. We're supposed to be describing beers and the flavors that we pull out, and I can sum this beer up in one word. No, 2 words.
Hold on. Shoot.
It's too grassy.
Hmm.
And I use grassy very intentionally. It's like herbal, but like earthy and like
The problem.
it's just like it's like, are you hoppy? Or are you floral? Or are you dank? And it's just like
The problem
you
is,
just get
like,
this like mush in your mouth.
It tries to have a light flavor, like the
And it's
top,
just not.
the top end and like the middle, like the top of the body tries to be light, but
it tries to play on those floral notes.
But it has a very thick, sweet, like base
It's
in
like
the body.
Hop syrup. And it's like, I would love for you to commit, but you're like,
It's
I want everyone to love me.
well, like the 420. It's like, yes, it's sweet, but it's very hoppy.
It's
So-
just dank,
so,
right? Like
yes.
420 is just like, we're going all for it. If you like hops, you'll like this beer. And these guys
Totally.
are like, but I want to flirt with the floral.
No.
That's just,
see, and that's.
I want to
the-
be a 9.4% daisy cutter. And it's
Jesus
like, no,
Christ,
I
buddy.
don't want
I
that.
don't
I
want
don't
that.
want my daisy cutter to be 9.4%.
No, I like my daisy cutters at like, I don't even know what daisy cutter is. Like what, crisp 5.
I was going to say 5.
Yeah,
4.8, 5.
I'm very curious. So what a daisy cutter
Like
sits at, honestly.
5.5 max.
I agree with you. And so so my 2 favorites are the 420 and the 1031. Those are my 2 favorites. The Christmas one is fucking weird. The New Year's one is fine. This one, every year, I don't love it. It just misses the mark. I don't love it. So getting a little off topic here, but Daisy Cutter. Daisy Cutter is 5.2.
That is in the range, right? Like
60 IBUs, 5.2.
And it's just it's a delicious grassy beer.
Yeah. They call it an American West Coast Pale Ale, chock full of dank aromatic hops that bite up front, then ease into citrus and set the finish up to nail the spot.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to remove a flavor entirely from your palate when you taste the beer next.
Oof, this is going to be the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
And it's going to be even harder when I describe it. Remove all of the hops and think dark chocolate, like bittersweet chocolate. Dark fucking boy chocolate. Remove all the hops in your brain. If it helps, plug your nose. Trust me.
No, I understand that. And for like 89 to 92% of people, that's a thing. Like my sister growing up, she didn't like broccoli, even though now she loves it. She was like, "Oh, you just plug your nose." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks, sis." And so I tried it. I'm like, "You fucking liar! It still tastes like shit."
No, I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm trying to remove the because hops are very aromatic.
I understand. Right? So what I'm saying is personally, the smell of things does not impact my taste as much as other people.
Okay, great.
That's all.
I don't care.
All right, fuck you. Here we go. Dark chocolate, no hops, buddy.
That's Nick's. I don't want to believe it, but like, what?
Have you ever had those box of chocolates?
You going on Forrest Gump on us here? I mean, it's America.
It's like life, okay? And some of them are filled with bullshit. This is one of those.
So you're saying it's a dark chocolate with like hop syrup in it?
No. Okay. I took away the hops.
Okay. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on.
So it's a dark chocolate truffle with orange flavoring inside of it. Is what it was.
The worst kind of chocolate.
Yes, Levi.
the worst.
Yes, Levi. When you bite into that, you go, "Oh,
I was tricked." Should have been caramel.
That's 100% it. And I immediately, if I can, spit it out. If I have to eat it, given the context of the environment that I'm in, I will immediately grab another one that I know is different and try to wash out the flavor. Because orange is the fucking worst thing to pair with chocolate, everybody. Fuck you. When I worked at Al Minute, they had a chocolate orange flavor. I was like, I had to try it because I had to tell people what this was like. And I had to somehow take them down this horrible, terrible journey and make it sound like they wanted to buy it. Even though I told them every time, I was like, I don't like this. If you like orange and you like chocolate, you're going to fucking love this. But let me tell you, it's not good. I don't like it. Mint chip, get that shit. You like that. Orange and dark chocolate. That's this beer without hops. And the hops are barely there anyway, so you don't even have to do that many imagining.
We ruined this beer for us.
Yeah,
this is
rightfully so.
No, seriously, take another drink, and it's disgusting. It's just bad. I just think chocolate.
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't. You know, it's funny you say that because I was gonna at the end of this, I was gonna say, hey, I bought this 6-pack for you, so you want the rest? I already know you're gonna say no.
I mean,
It's like the citradelic for me at this point. For you, you're like, just get it out of my house so I don't have to worry about drinking it.
I'll split it. Maybe we'll give it to Elizabeth. She probably likes.
That's a good
orange
idea.
and
She
chocolate.
probably will. That's better. That's the best idea we've had.
But like, we love Stone. So
they're
big fans of Stone.
One of my favorite breweries, honestly. And do you like me have trepidation with liking Stone so much because they're such a big brewery? But at the same time, you have to remind yourself they're not like, they haven't sold out like Ballast Point or anybody. Like they're still hold true to craft, and like they're
Even
like
Ballast Point I enjoy. So like,
well, no, and I enjoy Ballast Point too. But every time I'm like, man, fucking Corona owns these guys.
Yeah.
But Stone, they hold true. They're still they still own their own brewery. They still make
brewery.
Yeah, they're still an independent brewery.
Yeah.
And they make fantastic beer, and they like really put in the work and the science to like just come up with great shit. Great hop forward shit.
I'm just saying, like, it coming from a brewery that we love. It feels wrong to shit on a beer, but it would also feel wrong not to shit on a beer that I don't like, and that's why I want to be like,
yeah.
That's why I'm like, because I'm hesitant because I like Stone. So I'm hesitant because I like Stone so much.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh, I could see, and I'm like, no, I
can't stop.
I don't like this.
Yeah, I can't. And that's fine. And I'm sure we talked to why do I feel like his name's Doug? I feel like it's not Doug at all. I can't remember the dude's name, who like the head brewmaster or whatever. But I'm sure we talked to him. He'd say that's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just fucked the mic. He said that's fine. Not every beer is for everybody. Like you're gonna have beers you don't like. But yeah. So this is just one of those beers for us. 19 out of 20 beers of Stone that we like. I'd say that's pretty good. And as a whole, love their brewery. Did you ever go?
No, I never went.
Oh man, we gotta take a trip. Fuck LA. We should just go to San Diego. Cause
I mean, hey, you're not gonna hear an argument.
Yeah, man. I mean, not only is it just a better vibe of a city, but they have great breweries. We head a little bit north to the Stone in Escondido. They have just the coolest fucking beer garden out there. I mean, it's like it's an experience. I think it's their, like they call like their Stone Bistro or whatever. So it's a restaurant, but it's like they have this whole outdoor garden and everything. Like it's just fucking rad. It's a good time. So
yeah, and I would love to get a Stone. I think all of you should try Stone beer, and
we could take a long weekend and go one day.
So if you have an area that sells the Enjoy by 19.6 ounce cans, I would say I recommend picking it up if you can. Probably pretty hard to find, rather than a 6-pack.
Which is the opposite of how we started this podcast.
It is. Especially if like you get it cold and you can like split it between a couple people. That's
a good idea.
I think it's good to like try. Probably not good beer to like, in my opinion, right? Like if it sounds delicious to you, what we're describing, good for you. But
what this reminds me of?
I think it's worth to try.
You know what this reminds me of? And I'm a little, again, I'm embarrassed to say it just because I love Stone so much.
Yeah.
I think this reminds me of the Dogfish Head's 90-minute IPA.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just
they claim there's so many so much hops and bitterness in this, but then it's just like a sweet boy with like light flavor.
Like I get where they're coming from on the bitterness, right? It tastes like dark chocolate, but it tastes like, to your point, it tastes like it's a dark chocolate that you bite into it, and it's got like this sweet surprise that you didn't want.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. You did not want that.
You didn't want the sweet surprise.
No.
And similar to the 90-minute or the 120-minute Dogfish Head IPA, like. Ugh. I think they're worthwhile having. I think this is a worthwhile having beer.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a I don't like if you can't find it, don't be bummed. Basically,
Absolutely, and I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but whenever I miss an Enjoy By, I'm like, oh man, like I would like to have that. I would like to try it, and it's mostly because it's like I like to try each Enjoy By each year and reminisce like year after year, like, oh, is this better than last year?
Yep.
How does this compare to the other Enjoy Bys throughout the year? So
we do the same with Fresh Hop season too.
Totally. Yeah, we love to get this past year we had so many Fresh Hop beers.
Can't wait to have them all again.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Like a good example, Celebration. We hated this year.
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't hate it, but we were very disappointed because we loved it the first year.
Loved it the first year. We were like so excited to get it again. Came around,
disappointed.
And then we were like, I'm not going to get it again.
We were a bit bummed, yeah.
But similar to this, maybe this is the batch we don't.
No,
I know, because we've had it before. But I'm just saying, maybe next year
it'll be better.
It'll be better.
Yeah.
But I will say, not to get too far into our ratings because we haven't rated it yet, but a lot of our ratings are based around concepts.
Yeah.
I think similar to Dogfish Head, there's a concept behind this beer.
And like I said, if we were to talk to the brewer from Stone, maybe it's just not for us.
Yeah, maybe they would be like, this is exactly what we were going for.
Yeah.
It would be funny if they're like, we love dark chocolate and orange.
Yeah. And well, I know people do.
Yeah, people do.
I know people do. I don't agree with them at all, but
they're wrong.
I don't think this has anything to do with the beer whatsoever, because you have beers that are like 3 months old. But as far as the Enjoyed By series goes and drinking it fresh, this is about a month old from us drinking it now. Yeah. Tomorrow will be 1 month.
Yeah, it wouldn't have any effect, but yeah.
But that's still crazy, right? This is brewed in California, and here we are 2.5 states up drinking this. Not really. Really, we're 3 states up because it's in fucking San Diego.
America.
Yeah. And
yeah.
We're able to enjoy a beer within a month of its brewing 3 states away in fucking America. I wonder about other countries. You think in like France they get like German beers? Oof. Didn't see that coming, actually.
I know.
I thought you were gonna toast.
I know.
And then you just did a thing.
I know. That's why I was like, what's he gonna do when I do this? And then you raised your glass and I was like, perfect. And I committed.
You're gonna have a bad time, buddy. Like, worst time that I'm not doing that. You're gonna have a bad time. I'm sorry,
so,
but
I'm gonna commit right now.
Oh my god. Are you gonna chug this? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna commit right now to no reaction. And I will tell you how it is after I'm done.
All right, hold on. Take a breather. Take a second. Poise yourself. Really take a breath, This
is how mustache people poise themselves.
That is accurate, though. You need to prepare yourself and poise yourself. So, I was actually talking about that today with Elizabeth. She's like, can you get Levi to fucking trim his goddamn mustache? And I told her no.
I'm trimming my beard soon. I'm not touching the mustache. I'm going to trim the edges a little bit. I'm going to trim it up, clean it up a little bit, but I'm going to keep the length of the mustache and trim the beard down.
Are you going to go down in an earlier round, or are you going to just like trim it a little bit?
I don't know yet. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to try to clean up the edges, and then I'm going to say, fuck it, and then I'm going to chop it.
Yo.
I'm not going to shave.
But like, hear me out. For like a week? Shave everything but stash, bro?
No, I don't want to go. I hate shaving. I'm never shaving again.
Well, what?
I'm literally never shaving again.
Razor, not electric razor shave.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna go guard. I'm gonna go like a kind of like the top of your head.
Okay.
Like that's maybe a little bit shorter. Maybe like the angles of your head.
Wow, that is short.
I mean, then full mustache.
Guesstimating here, we're talking like about between a 3 and a 4.
Yes, between a 3 and a 4.
Short.
And then I'm gonna go full stash.
That is amazing.
But cleaned up stash. But like
Absolutely.
Full stash.
Well, you are. Do you shave under here?
Like my neck?
Yeah.
No,
you don't. At
My
least not right
electric
now.
razor.
Okay.
But I go like bare electric razor.
Okay.
Right here.
All right. That'll be allowed then. I was gonna say because if you're going that short, you're gonna have to like shave your neck.
No, I'm not.
But
I don't do
but
that.
yeah, if you'll be good. You'll be good.
I will occasionally go to a barber and get like the straight razor shave on my neck,
So
and
nice.
because it's just delicious.
So nice. It is very. That's perfect. It's delicious, is
yeah.
what it is.
It's just a good experience.
Yeah,
if you haven't done that, you should do it. It's worth the money. It's worth the time.
The last time, and I feel like it was probably just the barber, but the last time I went and got my beard trimmed at a barber, he went far too short. So it was this weird thing where like my beard was like.
I lied, by the way.
Sorry?
Pretty good.
Nah.
It's pretty good.
I'm going to try that in just like a split second. But
That's pretty good. Here.
The last time I went to a barber,
it takes on a lot more of the bourbon notes than I expected.
It's a carbonated old fashioned now.
Basically,
it's a carbonated old fashioned. No, it literally is a carbonated old fashioned.
Like not bad.
No, it's not.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
it's like
I might dump the rest of mine in. The last time, and I might have been the barber that I got my beard done. It was like too long to just kind of like stick like out, or where it's like then it was too short to like curl in, so it was this weird like medium length where it stuck out, but it looked. I'll show you the picture. It looked fucking weird.
I'm not getting my beard trimmed by a barber who doesn't like do beards anymore.
Yeah.
So when I got my neck trimmed,
yeah,
I specifically told them I don't want you to cut any hair. I just want you to do the straight razor under my neck.
Yeah, that's might be what I do.
So that's what I did, and that was a glorious experience.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Fuck someone touching my beard if you don't know how to. Because beards, I feel like I'm pretty decent at trimming my own beard on the shape that I want it.
Same.
But if you don't know how, and I can tell when you start trimming my beard, if you don't know how to shape beard, because it's a pretty like unique process. Like you got to understand the person's beard. Like Nick has curly hair. I have like really straight beard. So you got to like Nick probably has like more puffy. So if you put product in it, kind of like comes out a little bit more. So you can control it.
Yeah.
I'm the other side. Like if you put product in it, it like shrinks down, and you got to like shape it and like kind of build it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Which means you have to cut our beards differently. So if you're not familiar with that,
so oils probably work better for you, whereas balms work better for me.
Correct.
And no, that's 100%. You are very accurate in saying that, because my if like today, like this is like it's I don't know how it looks right now, but I think it looks fine, because I combed it today. Like before I combed it, I was like looking in the mirror about to head out the door, and I was like, that looks like shit right now. Like I should have like at least combed it. And so I combed it. I was like, all right, that's better. That's good enough. But
like you got to control your beard. I got to like expand my beard, because
we have to do opposites.
My beard wants to like shrink in and point, and it's like that looks dumb too. And like your beard's like this, and you're like, okay, calm down.
Yeah, and I wish I had a beard somewhere in the middle of both of us.
Exactly.
Because mine, it's like, especially on, I don't know what it is about my left side.
Yeah, I have a calic right here.
Oh my God.
And it cuts in hard.
Mine cuts out. So like, I'm going to be far from the mic here, but so like this side is like great. I never have a problem. This side, the top cuts down and in, and the bottom swings out. And I'm like, that just doesn't look good for anybody. What's happening here? So yeah, I severely have to work the left side harder than my right side. But that is interesting. We have opposite problems with that, and I've never thought about that, but it's very true. This doesn't have to be in the podcast, but I'm looking for the picture of when I had my beard done by somebody, and oh yeah, here it is. Actually, it's such an awkward length, and I'm like, wow.
Okay, what? This is gonna sound
probably accurate. Just go for it.
Racist.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You guys might give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
No, it looks like you got trimmed by someone who's very used to, it's actually not going to sound racist because it's a different hair type.
It's true.
Looks like you got trimmed by someone who's used to cutting beards for like Mexican Latino men. Because like a lot of them do that like fade down.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, it like if you were not white, that might look pretty good.
But for me, I got that done. And I was like, I am going to trim this down to a 2.
Yeah,
I'm buzzing this when I get home. I'm buzzing this. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think like that beard style would look good on Antonio.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, like if he got like a full beard and like he went and did that, I'd be like, dude,
You're looking good.
that looks good. Yeah. Like who'd you go to? That did a good job. No, 100%. Well, and
but
yeah.
on you,
No, I know, and so I know what you mean. Yeah, it's not racist by any means. It's because
it's just different hair type and
different hair type and different styles for different people, and it is based on how you look, and even just between you and me, it's like we're not gonna get the same thing done because although we're both white, we just
look different.
We look different, so it's gonna be styled differently. I had my buddy who's a barber. He when he was first getting into it, he was like he was like, and it sounds terrible when you say it this way, but he's like, I'm not cutting black people's hair.
Yeah,
and it obviously
same thing with tattoos.
Yeah,
it's just different.
He's like, I'm not, he's obviously not racist at all, but it's like, he was like afraid of messing it up for him because their hair is just so different. And so he was, I think he's gotten better now. He's absolutely no problem doing that now. But like starting off,
what his experience was, right?
Exactly. Yeah. When he was first starting, he was like terrified of doing it because he's like, I'm going to fuck it up.
Same thing with tattoos. Like if you didn't know this, the pigment of your skin it's not just the pigment of your skin. Like you can have reactions to color as well. But like your pigment of skin affects how well color and even fine lines of ink takes to your skin.
Yeah.
So it's like, and to your point, it's not racist. It's just like different. It's like if I tattooed this specifically on a white person, it's going to look different than tattooed on a darker skinned person.
Difference. Yeah. It's just what it is. Yeah.
And it's like I wish someone who's like dark skinned could get like a really vibrant tattoo because that'd probably look badass.
Yeah.
But it's like
the way the ink just doesn't work with your skin that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But even some people who like, the opposite too, where it's like people who, there it goes.
I don't know.
It was in there.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. And then I watched it fly out.
Dang.
Yeah. You had it. But the opposite too, where it's like people who are like severely on the pale end of the scale, where it's like, there are just certain tattoos or certain colors even where it's like, it's too vibrant or it's too much. Like,
yeah, like white. So like this tattoo, it was done over in white, and it's one of the most painful things you can experience is going over it in white after you've done shading.
If you've done the whole tattoo.
Yeah, after you've done the whole tattoo, plus going over it in shading, and plus darkening some of the lines, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna highlight some of this with white." It's like,
excuse me.
My arm's already covered in blood.
Do you want to get punched?
Yeah, but like I can see the pieces, but if like you weren't like aware of my tattoo, you probably wouldn't think there's white in it.
No, yeah, I could definitely see one part specifically down here.
Yes, right here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very vibrant.
But like all of this, those
I
windows
can see in the middle of this, so it's like some things going on there in the top right corner of it. But no, for sure, yeah, like someone would just look at it like, oh yeah, but like if you take that away, like if you would have stopped before the white, it would have like made it more dull for sure. It wouldn't have as popped.
But to your point, it's like if I was a darker colored skin, you could probably see the white more.
Yep. Right. Yep. It might not have had to have done that. He might have like been done like, no, it's good. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
crazy, man.
Wow, we're all different. Isn't that weird?
I mean, again, like even going back to the beard thing because that's like there's clearly not a difference of race.
It's just
someone trims your beard different than how they trim my beard.
yeah,
or they should. Anyway.
Everyone's face is different. Everyone's hair is different.
Calyx, is a whole thing.
Yep, absolutely.
Man, it's almost like we're individuals.
Wow,
Crazy.
All right, wrap this up.
You're gonna have to refresh there.
Yeah, let's give a quick over.
No, you're gonna have to refresh your. Yeah,
I thought you wrote some things.
I did,
and then I kept seeing them not there.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was like.
There they
are.
Okay. So
feel free to add or contrast or whatever you want.
No, for sure. I mean, you hit it pretty good. So for look, we got orange. It's very clear. It's very much like a West Coast style looking IPA. And tasting too, really. Like, it's a West Coast double IPA, if you will. Not our favorite, but it is. Smell, you wrote syrup and orangey. I'm gonna be honest, I have not given this a good smell yet. I don't think that I'm necessarily gonna get anything different from you, but I just have not done that yet.
You won't.
It's 1,000%. I could not come up with a single different word than syrup or orange. And that's not a lie. Not even a little bit. I don't give a fuck how long this podcast goes. I cannot come up with another word.
It's a little bit long.
Yeah, I figured as much. Taste. Meh. I added orange. I'm also going to add smidge hoppy. I think smidge hoppy is fair. And I'm just going to say sweet because it's quite sweet. I feel thicky. Let me tell you what. I got nothing left to say there.
It's not wrong.
Thoughts. It's too grassy. And then on a separate note, when we reevaluated after our second beer and
I threw the chocolate variable.
Yeah, I threw a little bit of a boomerang in this equation.
Sometimes it's right.
Tastes like dark orange chocolate. Quite accurate. So Levi has already rated it, and he is ready to go there. Yeah. I, on the other hand, am not quite there. I feel like I'm going to be the exact same as you, actually. I feel like I save it like every time, but nailed it. I love this new rating scale.
I talked a little bit about it previously on the last episode of Lost. So I rated it. Okay, let me just put my cards on the table. I rated it at 1.4. That's the lower end of a D, if you will. The rating for that is the word for that is bad, and we do not have a definition developed for bad.
We haven't gotten there yet. It's actually hard because it's not a shit beer.
Yep.
But it's like, so where do you go between meh and shit? And we'll need to unpack that eventually, but
we will. So a lot of what defines the difference between shit and like okay, for example, like difference in categories, is conceptualizing a beer. So there's a lot of beers that Nick and I have, like the Bing Cherry, like is a good Pints episode if you want to go watch that, where Nick doesn't enjoy it, but he recognizes the concept that they're going for. I do recognize the concept that they're trying to achieve. However, I don't see, like in this beer particularly, compared to the Bing Cherry, which is neither of our ideal beers. Like we haven't had it again since. We may never get it again.
I probably will never.
But
I don't want to spend money on that.
But I see the value in it.
Yeah.
And like Bing Cherry, if someone's like, oh, I kind of like sours, I'm recommending the Bing Cherry. I'm like, get that beer. It's fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see a place where I would recommend this beer to someone unless you're like, I want to branch out on like more explorative IPAs. Like, unless you're like that.
There's just a lot of other drinks.
Unless the 120-minute IPA is your fucking thing. I don't see me ever recommending this. I don't see redeeming qualities. Like even though the concept is there, I think it's a bad concept for an IPA.
Yeah, there's, to your point, I think there's just like, I just wouldn't recommend this. There's just so many other beers that would come to mind before. Like this probably wouldn't even come to mind if someone was like, oh, like even if someone was like, oh, I like thick, like sweeter but hoppier beers, like this probably wouldn't even be a beer on my mind.
If someone said, Nick, I'm throwing a party next week on the 4th of July, what beer should I get? I would not.
I wouldn't recommend.
I wouldn't even think.
I'd probably think of it because it's 7.4.
I wouldn't even think.
But I would not recommend this beer.
Would you even mention it in passing?
No, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't even talk about it. I wouldn't even bring it up to somebody because I just wouldn't recommend this beer personally.
So I have a question for you after this. But what is your rating? I'm a 1.4 bad.
I'm saying 1.5 meh.
Okay.
So I think that second turnaround, and once you had that revelation of chocolate orange, you were like, I don't like this beer. I don't feel that bad about it, but I'm right there. I'm 0.1 away from you. I'm a step up, and I'm not gonna quite say that it's bad, but I don't like it. I'm gonna call it a meh. It's just it's the tiniest step above bad, is what I would say.
Fair enough.
I don't think we keep talking about this concept, and I think that's a reoccurring thing within our rating scale too, is where it's like you either have a concept or you don't, and then it's either bad or it's like well done, because you can have a concept and it's not well done. But this, I think, just lacks a concept, and it just it's not a bad beer in my opinion, but it just doesn't quite have the concept down. You talked about this right off the bat. You're like, what do you want to be? Just tell me what you want to be, So
so my question to end this podcast that's gone way too long is
for a bad beer too.
What beer do you recommend? Because this is happening on June 30th. You have a couple days to prepare. What beer do you recommend they pick up, absolute necessity, for the 4th?
Ooh, you want me to answer this right now?
You got time. Take your time.
Okay.
Take a couple sips of your beer.
Fill the space if you can with anything, and I'll think about it for like the next 15 seconds.
Okay. So, off the bat, High Life is the perfect after dark beer. At night, fireworks. That's when you pick up the High Life. That's when the High Life starts kicking in. You maybe have a little cheeky cigar. That's when the High Life comes in. So High Life is ruled out. You can't say High Life. It's a must-have. But there's a lot of things you got to think of. You got to think of like good beer. You got to think of like beer that pairs well with corn on the cob or steak or burgers, like brats or hot dogs. What people usually have on 4th of July. You got to think, what's a beer I can enjoy playing a lawn game? Like there's a lot of variables there, and I'll let you choose a couple beers. But I'm helping the audience here think of their 4th of July activities. Don't be afraid to pick up. So I'm a big person when I think of like having people over, developing experiences. So
you're cute, yeah.
It's a thing of mine. So I think of like when it gets dark, what are the beers that people are going to drink? And I think like the High Life is a good example. I think of, what are we going to drink when we go out and play cornhole? Don't be afraid to limit yourself to a particular beer style. More think of what pairs well with what you're doing.
Can I say, and I think let's elongate this podcast a little bit even more. I think that's why both of us two also say, like, when one of us is like, all right, I'm out. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm getting a beer. Like, what do you want? And the other says, surprise me. It's because...
Tell me what my experience is.
Exactly. And I know that about you. And so that's 100% my thought behind it every time is like, what do you think I should be drinking right now with what we're doing, with what we're eating? What should I be drinking? You make that call. Because I trust you every time. You're never... And even for the memes, it's like, it's either going to be funny and that's going to add to the moment.
Yeah.
Or it's just going to be like, yeah, you nailed it. This is a great drink for right now. So
But it's one or the other, right? Like I will bring you something for the memes.
absolutely.
And I expect the same thing too.
But that's
It's
the
like,
mood, right? Like that's the mood we're in.
We're in the meme mood.
Yeah, exactly. Like the other person's like, if we're in like we're eating steak, like the other person's probably not gonna bring like a meme drink. Like it's probably like, all right, I need you to drink this with the steak right now.
All right. So set the mood and give me the one beer for the mood, and I will offer my beer in that same mood.
Ooh, okay. Wow. Well, I mean,
Or
let's
do
just.
you want me to set the mood?
No, it's fine. We can kind of just take the mood right here
Okay.
with your previous question here. So it's okay. It's 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scorcher. Okay, it's probably not going to be here. Most of the world, it's
Okay.
probably going to be a scorcher.
Scorcher.
It's a scorcher, bud. The sun is out to fucking play,
Mm-hmm.
and so you have a beer where you're outside, you're grilling. What are you drinking?
If I'm grilling,
Yeah.
I'm going for a PBR.
Ooh,
Going
nice.
for bog standard.
Yes.
PBR. It's in a 16-ounce can. I'm not fucking around with a glass. I'm not fucking around with a short can. I'm fucking grilling. I don't got time to spend on opening beers and shit. Like I'm drinking a 16-ounce PBR.
Bitch. I am on par with the lighter end of the scale. However, I'm gonna stick to craft. I am going local but national with the All Day IPA.
It's a good one.
I think the name speaks for itself. It's a light beer that is both crisp and hoppy, and
Also comes in a large boy pack.
it
So
comes
you
in a
can get
large
lot
boy
of
pack. You get a 15-pack, you can get a 6-pack, you can get
Nick-
a tall boy of it.
Nick and I debate this a lot. The 15-pack, a good alternative is the Wolf Pup. A little bit more citrusy, a little lighter.
Yeah.
Both good in this scenario, I would say.
And you can get them countrywide too. So I mean, if
Yes.
you're outside the states, which I feel like we've had like a couple listeners outside here and there, but for the most part, both beers countrywide.
Yeah.
You know, some of them might be harder to find than others in different parts, but you can find them. I was very surprised to find an All Day out here at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
So
They exist.
they do. So to kind of come back around to your question though about the best.
I mean, throw out another scenario.
Okay, all right. All right. So it's 4th of July.
Obviously.
It was nice today. It wasn't super hot, but it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're talking like 75, 80. Where you're like, all right, it was a little hot, but
You got
like,
some sun.
it was nice. Now it's nighttime.
Like you're not putting on sunscreen, but there's some sun.
Exactly right. Exactly. So now the day has come to nigh, and the party's not stopping. Of course, it's the 4th.
Yep.
Tomorrow's Sunday. Not a big deal. It's nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
You're by a fire because really the temperature has dipped below 70 at this point.
Yeah.
So when you were 80 in the day and you were wearing a tank top and shorts,
I forgot to bring a jacket.
you forgot to bring a jacket because you were thinking it's going to be 80 all day, bud. You're thinking Midwest weather. But that's just not the case. Even in the Midwest, it's just a little bit of a chill night tonight. You're chilling by the fire. I think that's important to mention as well because you're a little bit warmer there than you would normally otherwise be.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
So I'm not going to name a particular beer because I don't have one off the top of my head, but I'm going to name a style and a feeling. And if this is interest to you, you can explore the options locally near you, or if you want to hit one of us up, we could probably actually provide some options. Thinking about it, I'm going with a nice porter that is more on the hoppy end. That you could probably enjoy a nice cigar or cigarillo with said porter.
What was the one that was it Bell's or was it Founders?
Oh, I love the Bells.
It was Bell's, yeah.
I loved the Bells.
That's what he's thinking.
The Alaskan smoked porter,
Ooh,
another good alternative.
That is a good one, yeah. It has a decent hop profile to it.
Decent hop.
So that was pretty nice.
But I'm thinking that kind of concept.
No, absolutely. So I'll second that. I'll say most, definitely not all, but most porters on a night like that, you can't go wrong. However, if I want to keep the summer vibes going, and you're like, oh, I don't want to go back for more beer. It's what you had during the day, but it super works in this condition. Is just a typical go-to Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale.
It's a good one.
I don't think you can go wrong there.
It's a good one.
Summer, day or night, whether it's cool or hot.
Or if you need a little bit more oomph, Torpedo is a good alternative.
Another one, yeah. Whether it's, hot or like a chill summer night, I think you can't go wrong with either one of those, honestly. So.
Okay, lawn games. What are you drinking?
Oof. Long games, High Life all the way, buddy.
You're going High Life for the long games?
I'm going
middle of the sun beating down. You're playing some croquet. You're going High Life?
Going to High Life.
Okay, I'm going to go a little more local.
Go for it.
I'm going to go Leota May.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right?
That's a good thought.
So Leota May is a light, crisp, but like oddly dank beer. So it's very like got this hop herbal essence to it that's like it's very like clean and crisp, but then it's just got this body that's like makes you like get a little relaxed, get a little something going, you know what I mean? So get some magic.
It. Absolutely.
So it's very local to Washington, from your girlfriend's area in Yakima.
Yeah.
So if you can get it, definitely recommend picking it up for playing some long games.
Highly recommend. And so that is the thing that sucks about that. It is hyper local. I don't know that you can get it outside of the state.
I don't know
honestly.
that you can either.
So I'm gonna hit you with going back to your original question again with just
speaking of though, another hyper local beer.
Yeah.
Daisy Cutter would be a great alternative.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Absolutely.
For a lawn game.
Yes. Little bit. It fits the mood perfectly, but they are two totally different beers.
Different.
They're totally different beers, but they hit the mood.
Daisy
perfect.
Cutter's not dank. It's like floral and grassy and it's like spring basically. It's kind of the mood we're going for.
It makes me happy that you like that beer because you would not gravitate towards that flavor profile typically.
No.
So that makes me happy that you like that beer. Again, hyper local. You asked me the question, what am I drinking 4th of July? What am I going to recommend? I'm going to go Washington and then I'll go Chicago. Washington, I'll say Johnny Utah.
Great pick.
Fantastic.
Like this is all around 4th of July. Is that the category we're going for? Like 4th of July, you have one beer to pick, Johnny Utah.
Johnny Utah. Will not go wrong there. Illinois. I'm going back and forth between this, and I'm going back and forth between their Pale Ale and IPA, and I think I'm going IPA, the Anti-Hero.
Yeah, Anti-Hero, all like 100%.
I think the Fist City is going to be too sweet.
It's great
and fruity,
and I love the Fist City.
But the Anti-Hero I think is the way to go for 4th of July.
For 4th of July, 100% Anti-Hero. I'm right there with you from Chicago beer.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm honestly with you on Tacoma, like Washington beer for Johnny Utah, but I'm gonna pick something else,
please,
because I have to because Absolutely. It's my area.
Yeah, please.
But again, Johnny Utah, especially this season, like.
I'll be honest. Okay, you might have beat me. You might have beat me with a Daisy Cutter. I wasn't even. We just talked about it. I wasn't thinking of it.
Last year, Johnny Utah. You can watch our podcast on it. This is like one of the first podcasts that we put some effort into.
Yeah.
Introducing Nick to Point Break, the original Point Break. Great beer then. I think they've improved it. I don't know if it's actually changed or not, but I think it's.
I enjoyed it better this year.
It's
the batch you had.
It's so like Phil brought out the Bodhi's off and he's like, "Oh, it's the best beer." And I was literally thinking when he brought that out, I was like, "I think Johnny Utah might be better." Which is weird to think, but it's like the Johnny Utah has a more complex flavor this year. It got like a developed citrus, whereas like Bodhi's off is very orange. Johnny Utah's got like this grapefruit and citrus orange play. It's like sweet but like a little tart, and it's got the same carb, and I'm like, it just feels developed.
It does.
Like Bodhi's off, don't get me wrong, one of the best beers ever. Ranked.
I had it again today for the first time in a little while, and I had to remind myself to appreciate it because I'm like, like going back before I ever had it is hard to even imagine because it's just such a great beer that has become a part of every day now.
But would you say, like I would say definitively, Johnny Utah's this year, Johnny Utah is probably better than the Bodhi.
This year, yes.
Yeah.
This year, yeah. Yeah. And I'm with you. Though when I had it at your house, just this past weekend when I had it, I was like, holy fuck, like I've liked Johnny Utah. Or no, not even. It was at the cabin still, but I was like, holy fuck, like I've liked Johnny Utah, but it's hitting different this year. I don't know what it is.
Okay, so hyper-local beer, what am I drinking?
Yes.
Outside of the Leota May, because I think Leota May also fits in this category of an all-around beer.
It does.
Let me scroll through in my mind all the beers.
Dude, it's a doozy. It's why I created the list to begin with.
Actually, I'm gonna go with an easy one.
Okay.
But it does fit the 4th of July, I think, very well. The Prismatic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
You can throw so many of those back. You could just be tossing them back all day, buddy.
Yeah.
And just enjoying one after the other. Like, if they're crisp and they're cold, then Ninkasi, Prismatic, it's hard to beat under the sun.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better without them. Myself.
Like, even compared to the Johnny Utah, which, again, great option.
Totally.
Difference between the two, really? Prismatic is more laid-back flavors.
Yeah, a little lighter.
A little lighter, a little more crisp. Not as citrusy, so you really can just throw them back.
Crush them. Do you remember, I'll look it up now, but do you remember the ABV on that? The Prismatic?
I don't.
Okay.
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, because, because if it's higher than I'm thinking, then that's impressive, because they are just crushable, honestly, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like, I wouldn't, I
5.9.
It's pretty good.
It's borderline 6, and so for as light as it tastes,
as light as it here's what I'll say.
Crush it.
At a 5.9%, wouldn't be concerned about shotgunning that beer.
No, it feels more like a 4, honestly, and
So,
it's a 6 basically.
Speaking of shotgunning, I think we can end this podcast here. If you're local to Tacoma, a lawn game beer that you must have that Nick and I need to order right after this podcast is My Fishing Buddy.
Woo! There it is.
If it's available, which I don't know.
It's if you're in Washington.
No, I'm saying if it's available, you and I need to order it.
Oh,
for the 4th.
Yeah.
We need
now.
We need to get that going.
Yeah. It's just oof.
It's another good lager so think PBR, think High Life. Whether it's dark, whether it's your grill, it's a good.
We always call it a hoppy lager. Is what we always call it, because it's.
I think they call it hoppy lager.
I think we stole how they call it, and it's just that accurate.
But it's true.
It just is what it is.
But yeah, Prismatic, delicious all around beer. Johnny Utah, also another one. Daisy Cutter and Anti-Hero.
Yep.
If you're in the Chicago, Illinois area, or wherever you can get it in the Midwest, I don't know.
Right.
Other than that, have a good 4th of July. Celebrate your Independence Day the best you know how by doing whatever the fuck you want to, because we're American.
It's your right.
And if you're not American, hey, I'm glad that the nation that you're in may or may not be independent. I wish it was more independent if you're not in a independent nation.
You can watch this, so that's cool for you.
Yeah, it's true. That's some mark of independence.
But after COVID, America.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But if you are American and you're celebrating Independence Day, obviously stay safe. Don't drive if you can't drive. Be safe with fireworks. Fires.
Try to stay within your group. Like we talked about, be going over your parents or something. But it's like we've more or less been quarantined together, and you've seen your parents.
Yep.
So we're kind of within the same group. We're not really branching out, throwing this rager or anything like that, like we could be doing.
And we're gonna be outside, right? Like that's
another huge thing.
Yeah, be safe with COVID. Be safe with drinking, obviously.
Yeah, don't drive. Just fucking sleep in the front yard, dude.
Yeah, get some tents.
Honestly.
Other than that, have some good beer, play some good cornhole, some good lawn games. You know, let us know what you did on your 4th.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know. Let us know what beer you had or what beer
Yeah,
we should be having. Like, this is a few days. If you have beers to recommend to us, tweet at us, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all those things. You can message us and be like, hey, get this beer.
We'll pick it up.
We'll pick it up. We'll try it. If we can get it by the 4th. If not, we'll probably put it on a podcast.
If we can, yeah, absolutely.
Recently, I don't know if you saw this, but a couple months ago, I reposted a post when we announced our podcast, and I was looking through all the comments, and we had like 95% of the beers.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
I had like 30 people comment, you should try this beer, like all this stuff. And I was like,
Wow.
I was looking through it, and it was, a couple of years ago, obviously.
Yeah.
We've had most of the like a large percentage of the beers.
Wow. We'll check that out right after the podcast, actually. I'm very curious.
Including the bits and the bobs.
Really?
That was like a recent beer.
Wow.
And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, we recently had that.
A year later, here we are. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. So, yeah, do the steps. Let us know what you're drinking. Let us know what we should be drinking. See you later. Have a good 4th.